Hi, welcome to my channel. This is In the Life as a Stay-at-Home Mom. My name is Soraya, and I am a stay-at-home mom to a 6-month-old baby boy. And just a disclaimer, any music that you hear in the background, I do not own rights to. Today I'm just going to be giving a backstory, and as you see, I'm also going to be doing my hair. So, just a backstory on my life so far. Me and my fiance started dating on New Year's of last year. And shortly after, we went back to his hometown so that I could meet his parents. And literally the day that we left, he ended up proposing to me in front of his parents. And of course I said yes. This is the ring. And also, shortly after, we found out that we were pregnant with baby boy. His original due date was January 5th of 2025. We did have to have him a little early, so I can give you the backstory of that. So I'd say around the beginning or the middle of November, I had started planning to have my baby shower. My in-laws had came out here, and they were supposed to help us with the baby shower, but literally like 2 or 3 days before my son had me hospitalized, so I wasn't able to have my baby shower. And the reason why I ended up being hospitalized is because I ended up being diagnosed with preeclampsia at 22 weeks. And also, while they were monitoring me during that time, they had found out that baby boy's heart rate kept going up and down, so they wanted to keep me to monitor his heart and also monitor me as well. And just another backstory, just so you can understand later on in the story, I do have medical condition, although it is a lot better since giving birth to him. I was diagnosed with NES in 2023 after also being hospitalized after shortly passing away due to one of my seizures. And so I had created a birth plan with my OB as soon as we found out I was pregnant, just so that we can have safety precautions during birth if something was to happen, because I did want it to go all natural, no epidural and no C-section. But unfortunately, my birth did not happen that way, but you will get to that later. So then, I'd say pretty much my whole pregnancy almost, I was having seizures every day. And so it wasn't good. Thankfully, I hadn't hurt the baby, but I did get a few head injuries, nothing too serious, just from falling. And so they had me on some precautions, but not really. The hospital knew that I had seizures. I had told them at the time that I was admitted. And it seemed like they took it seriously, but they didn't really take it seriously until an incident happened. And so from 32 weeks to about 34 and 3 days, I was hospitalized. And as you know, you do have to stay after you have the baby. But I was being monitored pretty much a couple days a week for NSTs, because in previous appointments before I got hospitalized, I was told my son was on the smaller side and he wasn't growing the way that he needed to be. And so they had me doing growth scans, NSTs, baby monitoring to make sure he was moving, look at his heart rate, all that good stuff. And also, that day, we had an appointment at like 11 o'clock. My doctor's office was connected to the hospital that I was admitted to. And so I just had to walk over, and during this appointment, they checked the baby's growth, checked his heart rate, made sure all his necessary organs were properly functioning. And during this appointment, they noticed that my son's heart rate had dropped significantly. They were like, so we don't like this. We need to get him out immediately. My next question, of course, was, are we doing natural or are we going C-section? And of course, my plan was to do natural. They were like, well, we can put you on a test to see if he'll be able to tolerate you pushing. As long as his heart rate stays up and everything's good with the test, you're able to do natural. But then they had put me back on the machine once I got into my room. I'd say about 15 minutes later, they were like, so yeah, his heart rate dropped a couple more times. We do have to get him out. And again, I had asked, is it C-section or is it natural? They said I had to do C-section because he wouldn't be able to tolerate it, and they didn't want his heart rate to drop while I was pushing. So, as any normal person scared to have a major surgery where 7 layers of your body is being cut open, I immediately looked at my fiance, called my mom, and I started crying. I was scared, of course, because there's a bunch of risk having C-sections, and so I was definitely scared, you know, but I just prayed, asked to be kept safe, have a healthy birth for my son. They then started prepping me. Give me just a second, my son is crying. Sorry. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. They then started prepping me, and I'd say about 30 minutes later, I was being taken back to the operating room. They then gave me my epidural in my back. And around 12:34 p.m., my son was born, and he weighed 4 pounds. He was 18 inches. His name is Robert. And since then, you know, everything has been going fine. I do have a Velcro baby. Give me just a second. And he's definitely a Velcro baby. He has been struggling for the last 2 months. He is teething, so he is fussy some days. I wouldn't say all the time, but he's definitely fussy. At first, he was sleeping with us. He refused to sleep in his bed. But then we slowly got him to start sleeping in his own bed, which is great because my fiance likes to sleep up under me, and so does he. So it doesn't make it any better. I'm squished into a little sandwich between the two of them. But I love both my boys. They're amazing. They give me life. They show me the meaning of life and what it feels like to be loved. But also, he has been told by his pediatrician multiple times that even though he was born preemie, he is very advanced. He started rolling over at like 3 months. Just a second. So, he is trying to sit up. He sits up unsupported for like maybe 15 seconds. I am slowly trying. I don't know if any other moms has any tips, but I cannot get him to like sit on his knees to get in the position to crawl. He just like flops back down or scoots down. So if any moms have any tips on how to help me with that, that would be great. I don't want to rush him, but I do want to start practicing with him just so he can have an idea of what he's supposed to do. Because I definitely don't want him to, you know, not know, in a sense, what he's doing. So we're definitely trying, not forcing it. But I do try, and if he just scoots back down, I'll try like one more time, and if he just isn't having it, then, you know, I'll leave him alone. He is getting better when I put him in his playpen. He'll turn himself over on his belly, and he turns himself, and he'll do different stuff in there and play around by himself. And he'll typically like scoot, sort of, but he hasn't necessarily tried to crawl yet. So we are definitely trying. Give me just a second. So I'm back. Sorry, my son, he wanted a bottle. But I'm also looking for some mom friends. I have some, but I am just wanting some more friends, you know. I don't get out much. I'm usually in the house with the baby. So it'd be nice to just have some moms to relate to, you know, or eventually just meet up and have play dates with our kids, you know. So if anybody's wanting any friends, please hit me up. But I also own my own baking business. I started that back in November. I've been baking since I was about 15 years old, I do believe. I can't exactly remember. And so I sell a bunch of different treats. I cater birthdays, I do events, any event that you could basically think of, or if you just want to order some treats, you're more than welcome to. My business is called Treats by Waya. You can find me on Facebook at Treats by Waya, or on Instagram at treats_by_Waya, WAYA. And so I basically just do a lot of events or try to do personal orders. Give me just a second. So if you definitely want to order some treats for your kids or just personal use, go ahead and text me on Facebook, Instagram, or order through the website. And I just want to be able to share my experience as being a mom, you know, because it's definitely hard at times, but then other times it's very amazing, you know. Nothing's always going to be a smooth ride, you know, and so I just want to share my experience and encourage other moms that it's always going to have its up and down moments, but you're strong enough to get through it no matter what. Better than you planned it. Oh, so just send me your location. Let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location. Let's find my vibrations. So let's get personal. I got a lot of cool spots that we can go. Tell me what's the move, and I got you. Cause I like you. Just give me a vibe to smile, then oh, I might make you mine. Send me. I will be doing a video soon of the day in life as a stay-at-home mom of a 6-month-old. I'll probably try to get that out maybe next week. I do have to try to edit this video and get this one put up, but I'm definitely going to be trying to stay as active as I can while being active in my life as well. And if anybody has any suggestions as far as anything baby-wise or any content that anybody would like to see, go ahead and drop in the comments below. And I would just like to say subscribe and just help me spread support for the moms. But I will come back when we are all done and I will show you the finished product. So stay tuned, I will be right back. So this is my hair. I was going to curl it, but you know, my son wanted to be fussy, so straightening it is. You guys have a good day and I hope you enjoy.